A heat pump system is a form of solar water heating that does not rely on direct sunlight. It works by extracting heat from the atmosphere using a refrigerant gas and compressor.
What actually happens in the process when this is actually operating, as we can see, it's got a cowling here that allows the air to get sucked through by this fan here, and that air, or the heat out of that air, actually gets drawn across that evaporator box on the inside, and that's what starts the heating transfer process. The unit actually is pretty much like your fridge. In fact, it's the reverse of your fridge. If you look at the back of your fridge one day, you might see a compressor like this, and it's actually usually quite hot at the back of your fridge and it's cold on the inside of the fridge. What happens here is that the cold air gets blown out here and the heat is actually trapped here, and that's what heats the water in the tank. What we have here is an evaporator box, very much like the radiator on your car, and inside here we have refrigerant in these coils. Now that refrigerant has an ambient temperature of minus 25 degrees, so when this air actually hits that, that's actually quite hot to that refrigerant, and that fan is pulling the air through it, and that's what heats up the refrigerant. And actually then it gets compressed in here to further heat it, and then it's actually dissipated. The coil, if you like, is dissipated around the outside of the tank, and that's what creates the heat energy onto the hot water, and it cools down the refrigerant as it gets to the bottom. It comes back up and starts the process again. So it gets heated up again, gets compressed again, and around it goes until the water hits the desired temperature.
Consumer interest in heat pump water heaters continues to grow as there is considerably less energy consumption than a conventional electric water heater. This means lower running costs and less CO2 emissions.
The running costs on the solar heat pumps are generally significantly less than electric units, given that you're only using a small amount of power to run a compressor and a fan. Most of the heat energy is drawn from the air in the heat transfer process, so you could look up to savings of 75% a year on a traditional electric unit.
As solar heat pumps don't require roof panels, the installation time and cost is greatly reduced.
Some of the benefits that the solar heat pumps have over traditional solar units is the ease of installation. In some of the existing properties it may be too difficult to put actual panels on your roof, or you might be in a completely shady spot where you don't get any benefits of having a solar unit. So with a heat pump it can work in the shade, it can work in the sunlight, rain, hail, shine, so there's some advantages there. They also work without any electric boost at all, down to minus 10 degrees. So there's not really many places in Australia where that happens, so there's no ill effects from frosts or hail or any of that nature, given that there are no roof panels involved.
There are cash rebates available to anyone installing a hot water system, so check with the relevant authorities to find out how much of a refund you can expect.
At the moment, solar heat pumps attract a federal government rebate. A renewable energy certificate is actually issued with each unit that's actually purchased. There's certain terms and conditions on these, but generally speaking, if you're putting it in a new home or you're replacing an existing unit, you'll attract a rebate of say between $700 to $800 on one of our standard type units. The federal government also recently announced a further $1,000 rebate when you replace an electric storage unit as well. On top of that again, you can also get certain state rebates based on replacing or getting solar units in your home. So at the moment you've got 3 general levels to offset the capital cost on a solar unit.
A heat pump system can be installed by any licensed plumber. This installation took less than an hour.